Hey Wargamers, today we're going to do another Tau Army List review. Now, if you haven't seen one of these videos before, basically, it is something that I do for my patrons over on Patreon. They send me a list, I revise it, trying to maintain the general idea of the list, the core elements, the things that really give it its character, but tweak it to be a little bit more effective in my perspective. So that's what we're doing today. We are, of course, in Battlescribe here. There's always a question of what program I'm using. It's Battlescribe. So let's jump into it. It is a 2000.3 detachment list, and really the thing about this list is that it is meant to be very aggressive. It's using the new the greater good rules for Farsight enclaves in part, but it also uses things like a Yvara, a bunch of commanders, some crisis suits, and then a bunch of infantry to support those units. So we will be looking to maintain those core elements while tweaking things as needed. So the first detachment here is a battalion, a Bork'an battalion. It starts off with a Cadre Fireblade. Again, every video we do, we start off with a Cadre Fireblade, and that is a great choice. That is a really reliable source of marker lights and a great buff to the number of infantry in this list. So Cadre Fireblade is fantastic. Commander in a Crisis Battlesuit with advanced targeting, drone controller, 2 missile pods, and Iridium Battlesuit. Now, this guy here is really addressing two things. One is that he is providing a drone controller. There are marker drones in this list, and so that drone controller is really important in order to make those drones work. There's not a huge number of drones in this list, though, in terms of marker drones, and so you are getting some benefit out of this, but you're also, you're giving up a weapon slot on a really critical character, and you're not affecting a huge number of drones. So I think this is kind of a marginal choice given the number of drones that we have in this list. But you could go either way. Certainly it does help those drones, and marker lights are good, so having those is going to be important. Additionally, we have 2 missile pods and advanced targeting system. Missile pods with advanced targeting is good. That makes a lot of sense if you're going to be giving it missile pods. And the reason why this has missile pods is because this list really doesn't have a ton of long range shooting. It doesn't have a lot of range 30, 36 inch shooting. So having these missile pods in there really does help provide some early pressure with this force. So I think the missile pods are a good way to go. It's not something I would normally do with a commander, but given the rest of the composition, I think it's warranted and really valuable here. I would actually like to see more missile pods than this. So I would more missile pods on this commander. So either dropping the advanced targeting system and keeping the drone controller, or the other way around, seems to make sense to me. The Iridium Battlesuit is a good choice. He does have the character keyword and is going to be benefiting from drones and other things around him. So not essential, but certainly a nice thing to have if you have the points. Moving on to the Ethereal here. It is on a hover drone and has 2 shield drones. Great. Having Ethereal is going to be important to keep those drone units alive and on the tabletop, as well as just giving general Tau Empire buffs. So having Ethereal is nice here, and yeah, he should be on a hover drone if he's going to be moving around to keep up with drones. For troops, we have a unit of 6 Fire Warriors in a strike team. We have another unit of 5 Fire Warriors in a strike team with a marker light, and then another 5 with a marker light. So we're getting a couple marker lights here, and then just a nice core of strike teams, pretty standard. Elites, we have a Riptide with advanced targeting, heavy burst cannon, and velocity tracker. I think if you're going to be, going with Bork'an, I would tend to look more at a target lock, just because he's not going to be having double Kalyan or anything like that. But if he has sufficient marker light support, which I think this list does provide, a velocity tracker is actually more beneficial because the target lock would be redundant. So I think this is a good loadout here, given the rest of the composition. For fast attack, we have a unit of 6 tactical drones, or 6 shield drones rather. We have another unit of tactical drones with 4 marker drones and 2 shield drones. So we have, We have 12 drones here and across these 2 units. 4 of them are marker drones. I would probably actually split the marker drones between these 2 units, so you have a little bit more flexibility. So do 4 and 2 in each of these. Then we move on to the Yvara. The Yvara is a really controversial choice here. The Yvara was a unit that, with the previews that we had for the greater good, looked like it would be fantastic with modulated weaponry. Unfortunately, it's been FAQ'd to not affect Yvaras anymore. So that's unfortunate for the Yvara. The Yvara is still, well, even with those buffs, even with that stratagem, it seemed like the Yvara was going to be very, still very points intensive for what you get, based on the limitations of the chassis, really. The mobility, the range, the number of wounds, those things were all things that made the Yvara, even with modulated weaponry, pretty challenging to deal with. Now that modulated weaponry doesn't work on it, I still maintain that the Yvara probably is not the most points effective thing, but it seems like it's really part of the flavor of this list. So let's work on making it work here as best as we can. Advanced targeting system, yep, that's what you need. Velocity tracker, this is a place where I think the target lock is better. But again, with marker light support for that discharge cannon, having the velocity tracker is going to be fine, going to be good. All right, doesn't make it's a flamer. The flamer always hits, so doesn't make much of a difference either way there. Shield drones, yeah, okay. The MV52 shield drones, you pay a little bit more for those, but they come with the Yvara, so they'll deploy alongside him. That is useful if you're trying to use him as a distraction or something. Although if you do the escape velocity, they don't get to come with him, so keep that in mind. Moving on to the next detachment, we have a Vior La detachment with Unshi. I don't see the value of Unshi here. He's a super cool character. I've always loved Unshi. He just doesn't. I don't see the value of him here if you have an Ethereal on a hover drone already. He's going to be doing more for you because he can move faster. So I would tend to drop Unshi here. It's unfortunate because I do like Unshi. I just don't see the value in this particular list, or most lists actually. So then we get another Cadre Fireblade. Great, another good reliable marker light. For troops, we have a unit of 9 breachers with a Guardian drone and a Shield drone. Cool, the Guardian drone is going to be useful potentially. Then we have a Shield drone. Yeah, again, Shield drones are always good. 9 Fire Warriors. I'm assuming it's 9 because you want Unshi to go in a Devilfish alongside them, is part of the rationale there, which is fine. But still, if we're looking at using breachers if we're looking to use breachers in the most effective way, having a larger unit is going to be better because they're going to be able to benefit more from the numerous stratagems that benefit breachers. So I really would like to see this be a maxed out unit here. So just add another Fire Warrior to that unit, which won't be a problem because if we drop Unshi. For the strike team, we have another 5-man strike team with marker light, another 5-man strike team with marker light. Great. I like having the diffuse marker lights. This is a really good way to make your marker lights more durable, as opposed to concentrating them in something like a unit Pathfinders. Having those marker lights spread out throughout your army means that your opponent has to fire at more things to get rid of them. Then we have a Devilfish with gun drones and a burst cannon. Yeah, that's going to be important for those breachers. Although it's not as important now as it used to be. So we could drop that. I think it's better not to, but we could. Then our final detachment is a Vanguard detachment for Farsight enclaves. We are spending a CP for the veteran cadre on a unit of crisis bodyguards and have emergency dispensation here. I'm not sure why. It might be super obvious. It might be something that got dropped somewhere along the line, but I don't think we need to have that based on what I'm seeing in this file. For HQ, we have a commander and enforcer battlesuit with airburst fragmentation projector and 2 cyclic ion blasters. So maybe the idea here, maybe this is supposed to have reactive countermeasures. Maybe that's what's going on here. Actually, that's what I bet. I bet that's why that's there. I bet that's why the battlescribe is not happy. I'm guessing that's supposed to have reactive countermeasures, which is good. Cool. I like that. Then for elites, and cyclic ion blasters, yeah. So here's the thing actually about that. Right, so we have reactive countermeasures on here, presumably is why the emergency dispensation is there. 2 cyclic ion blasters, awesome. Advanced targeting system, awesome. Airburst fragmentation projector on a commander, not as awesome. And I like reactive countermeasures on a battlesuit. I think I'd rather, give up the durability, keep the CP, and just have 3 cyclic ion blasters on this guy, honestly. Just because he's really going to be doing a lot of work. And having the reactive countermeasures on there is helpful, certainly. But I would rather have him be a little bit more of a glass cannon, I guess, because he is a character and he's going to be protected by that and drones. Drones, the cause and solution to all of life's problems. All right, so elites, we have 2 Farsight marksmen. Again, great sources of marker lights. I think they're largely here to flesh out this detachment because we do have a lot of marker lights otherwise. But again, providing good, reliable sources of marker lights for our Riptide and our crisis suits and our infantry here, because those are really the guys that are going to be using those marker lights. The Ivara, we do need to support him if he's going to not have a target lock. So he does need the marker lights, but in all reality, the reason why people bring the Ivara is for the flamer. All right, so looking at the crisis bodyguards here, we're doing a veteran cadre and have 3 crisis suits. One of them should be, they're all Shads, right, because they're bodyguards. But one of them has iridium armor, has airburst fragmentation projector for reactive countermeasures, and then 2 fusion blasters. And then we have 3 fusion blasters on the other 2. I like fusion blasters for anything that doesn't have an invulnerable save. If it does have an invulnerable save, then the cyclic ion blaster is better. So I am a proponent of a little bit of a mix and match here, taking a couple of fusion blasters with the cyclic just to give you the flexibility, and the volume of fire I think is nice too. So I would switch these guys to have at least 1 cyclic each. I think it's worth it. And then for fast attack, we have 2 units of tactical drones. And we run into a problem here because we already, up here, had 2 units of tactical drones in our Bork'an detachment, I think. Yep, in the Bork'an detachment. So that's 4 units of tactical drones. Can't do that. Got to combine these into 1. Not a problem. Or we could even have one of these units be the support drones for the crisis bodyguards would also solve that problem. So not a big deal, easy fix, just something that we have to take care of. But of course, those are shield drones, which we need. So overall, strengths of this list: volume of fire, good. Marker light support, good. A good combination of units here, very aggressive, scrappy. I think weaknesses of this list again are going to be short range or long range on turn 1 or turn 2. We don't have a lot of support for that, so the missile pod commander and the Riptide help out a lot, but we want to maybe emphasize that component a little bit more. We also have a kind of a prevailing issue of having multiple seps. Multiple seps is great in concept because it allows you to have different units benefit from sep tenets that lean into their strengths and weaknesses, but it also means that you are limited in which drones you can be supported by. And this is the thing that I keep going back to when I'm making lists, is I really would like to mix and match my seps, but I can never get over the cost of not being able to just use any drone, having to keep track of which drone is which detachment, but also not be able to use a drone that's right next to me because it's a different sept, because Savior Protocols is sept locked. So I would really recommend moving all these into one sept. It seems like the juiciest fruit here is going to be the Farsight Enclaves detachment of these three. So I'm going to shuffle all these into Farsight Enclaves. It's going to work out well for all of these unit choices, really. The Yvara is going to love it. Maybe not as much as Bork'an, but still, it's going to be good. It's going to be crispy. So, yeah, I think that will be a nice way to go. So looking to reorganize under a single sept, working on providing a little bit more support in terms of drones and long distance shooting is going to be the goal here in the revision. So let's take a look. All right, so starting off with a battalion detachment. Again, it's Farsight Enclaves now because I want everything to be under the same sept so that I can mix and match my drones. And I want to have promiscuous drones is really my point here. I want to make that clear. All right, so Cadre Fireblade, yes. Commander in Crisis Battlesuit, 3 missile pods, drone controller. Cool. So, right, I provided more missile pods at the expense of giving up an advanced targeting system for this guy. For troops, we have, again, 10 breachers now, so that they can all go inside of a Devilfish and benefit the most from different stratagems. Another breacher team, this is a unit of 5 because Farsight breacher teams are pokey, not as fast as Viorla breachers, give or take, whatever. But still, strike team, we have a unit of 5 fire warriors with a marker light. We also have another marker light, on this unit of 5 breachers, just to get a little bit more diffuse marker light support. Then moving on to an outrider detachment, we have another Cadre Fireblade and another Crisis Commander, this time with advanced targeting and 3 missile pods. So here I'm giving more missile pods and utilizing some of the benefits of Farsight Enclaves to have more commanders, which you'll see later on. Fast attack, we have a split unit of drones with 3 shield and 3 markers. I have another unit of 3 shield and 3 marker drones here. And then I have that Yvara. Again, I'm a target lock here because I prefer not to risk it. I'd rather have him be independent, not dependent on the marker light support. So I've done that here. For the final detachment is a Vanguard detachment, still Farsight Enclaves. This one is largely the same as before. Veteran Cadre, again, I have 2 commanders in this because Farsight Enclaves allows us to do that now. Each of them is equipped with 3 cyclics and advanced targeting. And then moving into elites, I have those 2 Farsight marksmen. I have a Riptide. Notice he does maintain the velocity tracker here because I think he's going to be shooting at things that have marker lights on them. Then for the Crisis Bodyguards, we've gone ahead and maintained that as a 3-man unit. I wanted to push it to a 4-man unit. I went back and forth. I think having the other commander is better. I think having some of these additional choices is going to be more beneficial than just having having 4 Crisis Bodyguards. I've given them cross-link stabilizer jets instead of the reactive countermeasures. The reason for that is because it allows me to not have to take an air bursting fragmentation projector, and I am going to be counting on my drones. Yeah, it's a gamble, but I would rather have these guys be punchy up front and not last as long than last a little bit longer and not be as punchy. It's something that I'm debating about. It's something that time will tell. Which of these 2, crosslink stabilizer jets or reactive countermeasures, is going to be more advantageous more of the time. I don't know yet. I haven't seen or played enough games to really have a really good feel about that. But my gut right now is still telling me crosslink stabilizer jets, especially with a smaller unit where I'm not potentially saving more models, really. You can think about like a larger unit that has 4, 5, 6 guys in it. you put reactive countermeasures on that one guy, you're potentially saving a lot of additional models. Although I think the opposite is also true, right? Like crosslink stabilizer jets applies to the whole unit, so you're even more punchy. I don't know, guys. We really gotta play it out a little bit more, I think. But again, I think crosslink stabilizer jets are the way to go right now. Just having something that applies to all your models makes them more punchy, and we have better weapon choices then as well. I've gone to integrate that unit of shield drones into this because, again, I was needing to do that in order to stay with the rule of 3. And then for fast deck, I have 3 shield drones. So those can go with the Riptide, or help out our commanders, or the Vara. Plus we have that other 2 units of tactical drones up here. So I think this list maintains a lot of the same feel, right? It's a lot of the same units presented in a slightly different format, more commanders, more drones I think it's more drones. Yeah. And we've kind of made it, I think we've made it more tight. I think we made it more cohesive, especially by unifying it under Farsight enclaves. Yeah, you lose a little bit of the diversity from the subtenants, but you gain a lot in terms of cohesion and being able to operate as a single army. So yeah, that's the revision. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you agree with my choices? Do you disagree? What would you do differently? I would love to hear it. It's how I learn. It's how we get good feedback here on the channel, and always helps the patron improve their list as well if you provide additional feedback. So, all right, that's it. Again, thanks for watching, and as always, happy wargaming. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. This channel is made possible by my supporters over on Patreon. If you enjoyed this video, consider joining our community over there as well. Special thanks to Shifty, Dallas Ellis, Jim Bob, Nick Steele, Tao Oswell, Stephen Cohen, Jake Johnson, Jeff Godwin, Jacob Harkrider, Michael Burns, Alice Brimstone, Jared Egler, and Chris Kessler.